In the last video I did on one of these Type U's that I said went to a Triumph. This is a genuine. This is a real 1216 Type U, made in England, AC pump, and it does fit a Triumph. This one's had a rough life. I'll show you how to bring it back to being a good pump again. First we want to do is mark the location of the casting, the top casting to the bottom casting, so that the fittings end up in the same exact spot that they were in when you took it off your car. I like to mark it up front here. When it's bolted onto the engine, you can't see any of the marks. Remove this top bolt, and underneath that is your filter screen. There's a gasket right here, a fiber washer. You'll get one of those in the kit. This is the top cover. There's the gasket for it, and the filter. Obviously the filter was doing its job. As you can see, oops. And you'll get a new screen in there in the kit. Underneath here is what didn't get up to the carburetor, and there seems to be a lot of sediment in here. Now we want to remove these 6 screws, and that'll take the fuel casting off and give you access to the valves. Now the last screw, if these castings weren't stuck together, the casting would have popped up. Where this one's stuck, you just use a putty knife in between the two pieces, the two castings. Give it a few taps. It'll work it loose. And we want to dump out all this stuff. It gives you access to your valves. And I'll show you how to take those out in a minute. And there's a diaphragm, all stuck down. Now in order to remove these, all we do is just turn it 90 degrees, as long as it's all unstuck, and it will pop up. The spring, the diaphragm assembly, and the pull rod. Set it aside. Now down inside of here, a lot of these 1216 pumps, the Triumph pumps, instead of a seal being around the outside like a late model, newer type pump, these use there's a cup that sits down in here that sandwiches the seal. in order to get that out, the way that I do it, get a screwdriver and wedge it between the seal and bottom. Just catch it and pry it up. You're going to tear that cup a little bit, but it's alright. You're just going to tap it back down. And underneath that is the seal. You're going to get a new one of these in the kit. As you can see down inside, see how that pull rod is. I mean the link down inside that allows that pull rod to key into it. And you push it down to go through it, turn it, and it hooks on. If you suspect there's a problem with the arm, if there's too much play this way, or the whole arm moves up and down, and you can tell that there's wear in that pin, to remove that pin, there's a little clip right in here. Knock that clip out, slide the pin out, and the arm will come out with the link. And you can address that problem, and you get a new pin with the kit. Time to take out the valves. This always has people wondering how the heck you get these valves out. Well, it's kind of crude, but get your screwdriver, catch it, and just pry it up. What you're catching on is this right here. On the other one, you're going to knock the screwdriver through the center. Catch it underneath the top edge and pry it back. Sometimes it takes a little bit, sometimes it pops right out. Just catching down in here and catching that bottom edge. Down inside there's usually a gasket or two. You'll get new ones of those. As you can see, when this one was put in, we got a little screwy. Okay, this part here is ready for bead blasting. We'll get it all cleaned up and put it back together. Be right back. Now that everything's been cleaned up, glass beaded and clear coated, all the surfaces have been flattened out. It's very important that you get these things flat. Both of these, everything's all nice and clean, ready to go back together. In your kit, you're going to get two different types of seals. One of these that fits right down inside of here. There's another one where if this isn't quite as tall, you could have one of these seals in there that just sits over the top of it. It wouldn't work in this one here because this area here is too high. This part of the seal has to sit down in the casting down in the bottom, and that won't work with this. So we take this one, it drops in nice and easy. Remember this? Well, we have to flatten this out. So take a, well, you can use a socket, anything that'll fit down inside. that has a blunt end on it. A few taps and it'll flatten out. Put it down inside here, and you want to dimple the casting right around the edge. 4 spots. Now what I do is I just use my screwdriver. You're not going to hurt it. A few taps. And it'll keep that seat from coming back up. Put the spring on. Before you do that, what you want to do is take a little bit of motor oil and put it on that seal, because you don't want that to run dry. Line up your pull rod. I don't know how to do this to make it easier, but you're going to put it so that it sits this way, and it's going to go down through the seal and catch that. You want to key it right in, turn it 90 degrees, and you can see it held it. Now for the valves. You're going to take a gasket, put 1 gasket in each hole. Sit it down against the casting. Now in the event that you forgot how these valves went, whether it went this way or this way, just look down inside. See that piece of casting right there? If you happen to put this down, it would hit that and not seat right. So you're going to set it with the rivet up. And also look around in here. Let me see if I can get a pointer. You notice right around in here, this is how they held the original valves in. They dimpled the casting in these 4 spots, or 4, it looks like 6 spots to me. Now you can straighten them out if you have to. Take the driver that you're going to use to put the valves in, which is usually like a 9/16. Put it down inside, and with the hammer, just tap against wherever you want that. You see that dimple on this side? You want to hit it that way. If it's on this side, hit it this way. You're knocking the casting back. Doesn't take much. And you can put your valve in, your driver, and just start tapping. You'll know it's down. It'll stop going for one thing, and the sound will change. Now I'm sure you noticed that. I'm going to go back to a few dimples here and there. You just want to upset the casting, push it in, and it holds, grabs the valves and holds them. Put your screen on. Gasket. Fiber washer on that bolt. and snug it all down. Now if you look, you see that this is an arrow going in. You should be able to blow air in and not suck any air out. Same with the other side, you should be able to suck air out but not blow it in. And that tells you that the valves are sealed. The rest of this is pretty simple. Find your indexing mark, which mine happens to be right there. Line up the holes. Put the screws in. Just don't tighten them down. Not until you get all the screws caught. Oops. Bring them down about halfway. Once you get all the screws halfway down, pick yourself a adjustable wrench. Put it on the arm, and you want to pull that so it brings the diaphragm all the way down until it stops. Now tighten up the screws. Usually I'll hang on to this adjustable until I get at least 4 of the screws down. And then tighten up the other 2. Go around once more to make sure you got every one of them down to. Just keep in mind that you're threading this into cast aluminum. We want to test it. Pull up on the arm, hold your finger over the outlet and let it go, and you'll feel pressure. Hold your finger over the inlet and pull it up, and it'll try to pull your finger in. Aside from a gasket, it's ready. It's ready to go back to the customer, put on their Triumph, and go for a cruise. Any questions? Put them in the comments section down below. Any questions? Give me a call. 781-335-8860, or visit us on the web at then-now.com. Thanks for watching.